way far away from you guys. Let me see. Oh! Ah! Oh my god. I almost had a disaster. Just in case. I don't want coffee splattered all over me. I do have my hair up in a bun, so you don't think I shaved off my hair. It's like 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning, and I just I thought of this video, and I actually thought about it yesterday, but I did not have time to make it. I was gonna do like a get ready with me while I talked about it, but I don't really feel like putting on makeup today. And then it's so funny because every time I do that, I don't put makeup on. I have like a million places to go, and I'm like it doesn't make any sense. But then I'll put makeup on to start my day, and I won't go anywhere. Make it make sense. I don't know. So I actually saw a girl slightly talking about this in one of her videos, and she's actually really popular here on YouTube. She um, makes videos specifically talking and directing her videos towards low income families. And she is called Meek, Meek, Low Income Living. And I love watching her videos because I actually stumbled upon her YouTube channel about 2 or 3 months ago. And she's growing, she's getting a lot of subscribers. And that makes me so happy because there's not enough attention brought to this topic. It's always been, let's just be honest, low income living has been a stigma and it has been a gossip topic to talk about for years. It's been going on for years and years and years and years and years. Low income, low income facilities, apartments. I don't like calling them facilities because it's retarded. Like it's not a facility; it's an apartment complex. Um, have been going on for decades. Most of these buildings that I have witnessed or I've lived in were built in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Um, and they specifically designed these places for low income average families, people that are just not rolling in the money and are just trying to live their lives, and they're doing the best that they can, but yet they still obviously need some place to live. They have all the necessities of a regular apartment. That's the one thing that a lot of people think low income housing is that they think that these types of apartments are basically low down pieces of trash. They're not. A lot of the apartments that I've lived in have been really nice, and I've actually gotten compliments on most of the places that I've lived in. You would honestly, you would not guess that they were low income. You would be like, okay, so how much are you paying a month to live here? I've lived in three low income apartment buildings. Each one was different. It was completely, built to the manufacturer's own design and what they had in mind and things like that. They all were beautiful. They all had their own style and their own environment and things like that. Um, I think one of the reasons why low income living gets a bad taste in people's mouth is because sometimes there are people that move into the neighborhoods. There are people that move into the neighborhoods that take advantage of the what is the word that I'm looking for? They take advantage of I guess, the stigma, and they try to make it what it is. It's basically like saying if someone walks up to you and they call you the color yellow, you're going to try really hard to be the color yellow. Or if somebody said that you're you're a depressed person and you try really hard to be a depressed person, but in actuality you're not. That's pretty much what people do for low income housing. For some people that move into these neighborhoods, they try to live off of the stigma that is wrapped around these neighborhoods. A lot of the words that I hear that come from these neighborhoods, or come people that talk about these neighborhoods, are that they're trash, um, bad people live here, that it is a bad neighborhood, that we people that live in these areas basically just amount to nothing, and that they're drug addicts and they're meth heads, and um, they have no point in life. They basically are just living off the government and everything else in between. And there's a lot of people that come into these neighborhoods and they live in that mindset. They live in that stagnant mindset because they hear it all the time. So basically, they just kind of just gave up on their own lives. They don't try to see their life for what it is. They're giving into that stigma, into that category that these people are labeling us. That's the word, labeling us as. I want to apologize. My kids woke up at the butt crack of dawn this morning. They woke up at 4:30 in the morning. Both of them are denying it, but I know because I have a clock. They woke up at 4:30 on a Saturday. What is with kids and waking up to the butt crack of dawn? I don't get it. I remember doing it when I was little. I remember waking up and I would watch the sunrise across the field in my hallway. And I would sit there and watch the sunrise. Why do we get up so early when we're kids? I don't understand when we're kids we get up so early and then we hit like our teens. I never left my bedroom. I never wanted to leave. It was crazy. Anyways, so this video that I want to talk about is specifically going to be discussing low income living. And I'm going to talk about my story. So I obviously live in low income housing, or I want to be talking about this. Like I said, I've lived in low income housing for on and off. I'm going to say almost 10 years. It's been almost 10 years. Now, like I said, I've lived in 3 different apartment complexes. I've not always lived here. I've moved 3 different times for my own decision, my own choice. I've never been evicted. I've never lost any of my apartments. I moved on my own. It was my choice. The reason why I moved is because the one place that I lived in, it was just too small. My kids were getting older, and it was built in 1965, and it was a beautiful apartment. I loved my apartment. I loved the environment my apartment was in. I did little DIYs to the apartment, and it was my place. It was so cute. I loved it. But we had to move because it was just having some issues with it that was not getting fixed, and we could see that it was going to start to deteriorate faster and faster. The landlord at that place was a total douche canoe. He literally did not care about those apartments. He still doesn't. He still is the landlord at those apartments. He needs to retire. The guy's 60, 70 years old. And he's a douchebag. Our basement would flood. We had so many floods in that basement. It would destroy all of our belongings. There was cracks in the basement walls. Upstairs, the floors were really, really bad. My husband tried to do DIYs, and he would try to fix the floors to make them not one section of our living room was kind of sunken in, and we ended up redoing our floors. We ended up ripping out all the carpet, and we put down hardwood, not hardwood like actual hardwood, but it looked like hardwood, and they were click clack floors. You can just put them together. When we were doing the floor, my husband was doing the floor, he noticed that it was completely sunken in the northern part of our living room, and my husband was like, this floor is not going to last very much longer. He's like, it's going to cave in the next couple of years. And then we found out that our ceilings were starting to go bad. One of my neighbors across the street, she ended up having her in the living room. She was just chilling, and her whole entire ceiling caved in, and I want to say her bathtub came crashing through, and it went right straight to the floor. Horrifying. After I found out about that, he didn't really do anything about it. He ended up blaming her and saying it was her fault. What? It was getting too bad living there. So I ended up just telling my family, we need to pack up. We need to find someplace else to live. So I went on a hunt. So we ended up moving in 2023, and we ended up moving to another apartment complex, and it was a different apartment before this apartment, and it was in the same community. It's in the same community, but we just didn't live in this building. So yeah, so I've moved, but it was never on bad terms. I mean, besides the whole those one's apartments just falling apart. But um, it was just always like my decision, my choice to want to leave because I just didn't see it getting any better. So um, the reason why I live in low income housing is because I basically, when I got married young to my first husband. I was married at 22 years old. No, I wasn't. I was 24. I was about 23, 24 years old when I got married, and I did not know anything about life. I had nothing. I was married to him for about 3 or 4 years, um, and our marriage ended badly. Our marriage ended badly. Um, he basically left me with nothing. He left me with no nothing. I was alone. I ended up moving back in with my mom and dad. I ended up having to start from scratch, and the list goes on and on. So when I ended up moving into my first low income apartment with my now husband. We were dating at the time. We ended up moving into my first own apartment, and that was back in 2016. I loved that apartment. It was so beautiful. It was so pretty. It had central air. It had like all the amenities. It was absolutely gorgeous. Um, and again, it was my decision to move. I didn't get evicted or anything bad happened. I just decided that I didn't want to live there anymore because we just, again, like I said, some of the people that moved into that complex, some of the people that moved into that neighborhood started to do things that were just not safe. And I just, I had a baby at the time. He was very, very young. And I was just like, it's time to go. Um, like I said, a lot of people that move into these complexes, into these apartment buildings, they take the label that these people give us and they run with it. And they basically were just trying to destroy the neighborhood. They were trying to wreck it. My brother actually lived there too at the time, and he ended up moving out because he lived there for years before me, and he couldn't do it anymore. So it was just getting to a point where the management there wasn't doing a very good job keeping up. So we ended up moving. But anyways, so one of the things that I thought about when it comes to those labels that people give low income people, when you live in low income housing, you really start to, like I said, you really start to think that's what you are. You start to really think that I don't have any hope for my future. Um, this is who I am. I'm just a piece of crap. I'm literally just on the bottom of the food chain. You start looking around at other people around you, and I'm speaking from experience. You start really looking around, like you're just like, okay, why is Mary, Joe, and Billy over there? Why am I not where they're at? Why am I not, they're right. Why am I not doing blah, blah, blah? The problem with this is that sometimes it's the old saying, you don't know what you have until it's gone. We don't always see what we have in the moment. We don't always see the gift and the blessings that we have in our lives. We don't, and not in the moment. We don't. We're always standing around poking our fingers at other things and other people, desiring and wanting what other people have. And we don't take and stop and look at what we have and what God has given us and until it's gone. Um, I've had this happen to me multiple times where I had things in my life that I took for granted and was like, and I would cop an attitude about it and it would be gone. And then I would really start to realize things later on, but it was already too late. My first point is being grateful for your home. That is a big problem in low income housing people. We don't always show gratefulness for what we have. The biggest thing with having these kind of places is that it's kind of like it's like a blank slate. You pretty much can design and you can personalize the apartment to any which way that you want, with of course following guidelines and things like that. And that's pretty much all apartment complexes. I mean, obviously you can't go and paint your bedroom black because it's not going to come out. you can't, do certain things like that because that's ridiculous. But you basically have a blank slate. It also gives you the freedom to be able to really focus on where you, who you are and what you want to be in your life and things like that. And it gives you that freedom and the comfort of home that you don't have to worry about. The bottom line is in the picture, the whole point of it is that you're not homeless. You are not Steve, who is sleeping out in his car over by the Tim Hortons. I'm sorry to throw Tim Hortons under the bus. I don't like Tim Hortons, but still, like, I'm sorry. But you're not. You're not sleeping in your car. Steve is looking at your apartment being like, damn, I really wish I had a nice comfy place to sleep tonight. I really wish I had a place to cook my meals. I really wish I had a nice hot shower. I really wish I could sit in the living room and watch TV. No, he's sitting in his freaking car. It's freezing and he's trying to stay warm and he's uncomfortable. He can't sleep. He's scared and he's literally, what's, some people don't even have a car. Some people are sleeping in tents on the side of the road. They don't have anywhere to go, and they're looking at you, at what you have, and begging to have it, wishing that they had it. Just please let me have something like that. That is the whole truth of the matter. We're not always ready for what we have. We're not. We don't always look at it, and because Mary Jane over here, who lives in a 5-bedroom, and which I'm going to get to a point that in a minute, looks down on you. I kind of skipped points here for a minute, but I'm going to get to that in a second. When it comes to that, I've had personal experience with it. Higher income people will look down on us. I've had it happen my whole life. Money is the root of all evil. Money is evil. It is greedy, selfish, haughty, arrogant, egotistical. It's, you name it, it's there. You've seen a rich person, you've known a rich person, it's there. They will deny it. They will say that they're not, but most of the rich people that I've met in my life, or the people that have a higher income, they are snooty. I have watched people that I know are very wealthy live in mansions. They live on, they live in big giant houses. I have watched these people not lift a finger for somebody that desperately needed help. Or the other way it goes is they roll their eyes like, I guess we'll help somebody. It's not I have things that I can give. God bless me with all of this. I can help somebody else. I can help somebody else. It's reluctance. It's always with reluctance and hesitancy and resistance. I had this one time. I've actually had this happen to me more than once. We had a situation where there was a homeless lady. She had to be only in her late 20s, early 30s. She was very, very young. And she was basically living on the bus, the city bus. It was about 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. And she was sleeping in the back of the bus, and it was freezing outside. And it was going to get colder. It was the last stop for the night. And the bus driver looked at me and my husband and was basically like, I don't know what to do. I don't want to kick her off. I know she can't stay on the bus. The bus is going back to the garage. It's, we didn't know what to do. I looked at her and I told her, I said, I'm going to take her home with me for the night, and we'll find a place for her to go in the morning. We'll find a shelter for her. Now, mind you, I didn't know anything about this lady. I didn't know her at all. She was a complete stranger. But the thing is that I knew in my heart that I could not let this lady just freeze to death. I could not just let this lady just die on the road and everything else between. But anyways, the point of the matter is, I have had basically, from the other people's point of view, is people saying that I have nothing. And I help those that I can because I knew that I had it to give. I knew that I had the ability to help because I know what that feels like. And also, I had a place to live. I had a place to stay, and she didn't. And I knew that I could help. I didn't raise my eyebrow to her situation and judge her and say, okay, well then why are you in this situation? But why though? It's not causing any kind of results here. It's not going to cause anything. It's just it's just causing more havoc on that person's life. That's all. Go downstairs, please. Um, and it's just causing more problems on that person's life. It's not doing anything. And I've been in that situation. I have been in these situations where I've had high income people, great lives, great lives, which I'll get to another point, skipped another point, and being very, basically just, I'm just going to say it, just pretty much a waste of space. They're basically getting all these blessings and they're getting all these great things happen to them, and they just keep swallowing all these blessings, and they're not aware of their surroundings. They're just getting more and more on the gluttony of themselves, and that's pretty much about it. And so that's to my next point. As money destroys families at times and produces arrogance, ego, and selfishness. So basically, everything I just said in my first point, I have seen it firsthand where I've gone into people's houses. I mean, I'm talking really nice houses. Like these are like 4 to 5 to 6 bedroom houses, and they're beautiful. And they are, um, back to what I was saying, is I was in a situation where I was, it was family, and I was living in my car, and I was going through a really hard time. It wasn't because of drugs, it wasn't because of anything else, it was because of my first divorce. Um, they had the opportunities, they had them, God gave them the opportunities to help people that were, and especially family, but the only thing that was produced out of this situation was judgment, questions, and a lot of accusations, a lot of hate, and a lot of looking down on me. Um, this has happened to me multiple times. I've seen it with a lot of people that are higher income, people that are, and their excuse is, and what they say is, I worked for my money, I work for what I have, and that's all there is to it. You work for your money and you work for what you have. That doesn't mean that you work to have a cold heart. You didn't work to have ice over your heart. You didn't work to put blinders on. You didn't work to become an evil, selfish, arrogant person. That's not what you work for. You don't work to, you work because that's a blessing that God gave you as well. That is a job that you got that was a blessing that is not guaranteed the next day. It is not guaranteed. The income that you have is not guaranteed. And it all reverts back to that. So it's basically, it's kind of like an oxymoron when higher income people say this, and it's just, it doesn't produce anything good for those people. I've seen that as well. A lot of people say karma. I've seen families just get torn apart, and they basically just wither away. The money will start to just eat at the whole entire core of the family. They start getting greedy. It's basically not enough. More, 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 more. They want more and more and more and more and more. And they're not seeing what they already have. They're not seeing what the family, they're not seeing any of that. They don't see none of that. It's just a self need for more. I have to have more. I think it's to a point where they don't even know what the more is. They don't even know what it is anymore. It's just they have to have more of it, which produces ego, which produces misery. It's just, I've seen it. Which gets my next point is I've seen wealthy people lack motivation. They don't have any gratefulness. They're not humble. They have a lack of care for worth of achievements, and they want, like I said, they want more. They don't really, I've seen them not care about themselves. They don't really care. I've actually witnessed, like I said, I walked into places, I mean, beautiful homes, really, really gorgeous homes that they were blessed with, and they were disgusting. Nasty. Like, disgusting. I'm talking bathtubs that were backed up with water because they were not declogging their bathtubs. They were cracks and crap all up, like, in the floor, in the kitchen floors, just falling apart, and they would throw a rug over it. Refrigerators leaking water. These are like Samsung refrigerators, like beautiful refrigerators. Dogs defecating in the house and urinating on things, and they didn't really care. The house smelled horrible. They would smell like just horrible. Um, Windows cracked, screens splintered, yards not being taken. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on. And they were sitting on a couch with a laptop in their lap playing World of Warcraft. And they are not doing a thing, but they were blessed with all of these things, and they're blessed with all of this beautiful blessings, and they do absolutely nothing. And yet, those types of people with those blessings, unfortunately, that they have that they're not seeing, will look down on people of low income and say that we are the ones that are disgusting, we're nasty, we live in trash, our homes are gross, we're pointless, we have no futures, and etc. And the list goes on and on. When actually, in reality, they're speaking about themselves. That's what they're speaking about, because they see their environment around them, but we're just easy targets. Most low-income housing people that I know, and I've walked into their homes, they are spick and span. I have a very clean home. I am not a dirty person. I have a list that I follow. You can ask my husband. I have lists for everything. I have meal plans. I have lists for laundry. I have lists for, cleaning days and things like that. I take very good care of my places. And the reason is, it's back to what I was saying, is that it's called being humble. It's called being grateful. It's called appreciating what you have. And I am very appreciative for the place that I have. I am having such a hard time making this video. It's like something keeps trying to stop me from making it. So strange. He does this because he wants in here because he's nosy, and he just wants to come in here and just walk around the room and stare at me, and then he walks right back out. He's very strange. He's like checking on me. A lot of it is just themselves, just looking at their own misery. Most of them are just not happy. They're not happy with their lives, because when you are doing this and you're being a glutton and you're having all these sins wrapped around you, misery is the only outcome that you're going to have. It's only going to be misery. It's because of the fact that you are building yourself ice around your heart, and you're building ice around your spirit and everything else in between. And it is a goal. It is a goal. I'm sorry, my husband doesn't have clothes on, so I don't want him to, nobody see my husband. It is a goal for these people, it seems like. It's very strange, but I'm just going to be honest. That's what it feels like. And the sad part is, I have felt walking into these places that aura. I have felt what it feels like, and I hated it. And I told myself, I will never be like that. I will never live that kind of life. I think it is. The point is, living simple is God's ideal way of life. It's all about family, love, memories built upon a firm foundation of values and knowledge, not greed. God gives you things in your life to build certain things up in here and in your heart. He doesn't give you things to build that ice around your heart and to become arrogant, egotistical, which 95% of this world usually does. That's why we have so many problems in the world, is because nobody believes in helping each other because of the arrogancy and evil doings of this world. Now, when God gives you things, when he gives you blessings, and I'm talking like the smallest thing, you are supposed to really, and it sounds very simple, but you are supposed to be grateful for it. You are supposed to be, it's not guaranteed. These things are not guaranteed. Okay, so like example. When we first moved in here, I didn't hardly have any furniture because it was a bigger place. So when I first moved in, I was like, we were kind of like looking around the apartment. And I went into the living room and I was like, man, I am not going to have enough furniture for this living room. It was huge. I basically had like a little sofa, a glass table with my TV, and that was it. So I just was like, okay, well, you know what? I'm going to pray on this. I'm really just going to, let God take control of this, and we're going to figure it out from there. I kid you not, within 3 to 4 weeks, I now have a sectional in my living room, and I also have a recliner. I had to take the recliner out of my living room because We have our Christmas tree in there right now. But still, he provided me with that. I was so grateful, like so thankful. Now, a lot of people are going to say, well, the reason why you're grateful and thankful is because you are a poor person. You don't, that's no big deal to me. That is not the reason why. I am grateful and thankful because we're supposed to be. We're supposed to have that warmth in our heart. We're supposed to have that happiness when we get these things. We're not supposed to be iced over. We're not supposed to have this ignorance to listening to God's voice and throwing up our gratefulness, throwing up our worship to Him, and throwing up our um, thanks. There's no other word to Him. We're not supposed to just block all that out. We're not supposed to be like, okay, whatever. I'm just gonna get more because I'm gonna get more. Like, this is who I am. I mean, I'm rich. I'll just get more. It's not guaranteed, buddy. It's not. When you constantly are doing this, it's not guaranteed. Because what you're doing is you're listening to the devil and lies that he's telling you. It's not guaranteed. Your income and your wealth and the life that you have is not guaranteed. I am grateful because I'm supposed to be grateful. Because it isn't guaranteed. My life's not guaranteed either with the things that I have. I could wake up tomorrow and all this could be gone. It could burn down. It could, I don't know, anything could happen. None of it is guaranteed. And that's what a lot of people of higher income, they don't see what they have in their lives. They don't, I've seen it firsthand. They don't see what they have. And they lack awareness. They have no awareness whatsoever at all. And it is funny this is a really long video, sorry, but it is funny about that. I have actually walked into practically mansions. They look like mansions. And they're disgusting. They're just not well kept. They're not taken care of. They're just, their animals are gross. They're not doing the repairs or, things like that. And I walked into apartments, trailers, and they're gorgeous. They're absolutely beautiful, and they're well taken care of. And do you see what I'm saying? That there is a spiritual aspect to this, that there is something wrong if you are giving this beautiful clamshell of a life with a giant pearl in it, and it's disgusting. But yet you're given this, let's see, what else? I don't know, compared to a clamshell. Like a little shell, a little basic shell, but it's beautiful and it's great. And people love being there, and it looks awesome. It's fun. Where's the diff? Do you see what I'm saying? Make it make sense. I only lead it back to spirituality. I lead it back to a lack of humbleism, a lack of awareness, a lack of maturity. Really, honestly, it is. And it is a shame. It really is. Um, like I said, I have been incredibly happy in the life that I have. I have never, ever treated my places with disrespect. I have never trashed anything. I've never wrecked anything. I've never let things go. I'm a good person. My family we're all normal. And most of the people that live in low income housing are in the same boat. We're all just trying to get by. We're all just living our lives. And most of them are good people. And make that make sense. It is strange. It really is. It's a very, very strange thing. But I wanted to make this video because I wanted to tell all the people out there that are living in this low income housing. Stop labeling yourself of what these people are calling you, and stop putting yourself in that box, because it's not true. Really take a look at what you have around you. Really take a look at your own life. And really take a look at these people that are saying this. I can guarantee you something's wrong. Either the marriage is falling apart, their finances are going down the drain, they're sick, they're having health issues, something's wrong. And misery is what they're producing. They're jealous of what you have and jealous of the family that you have, the love that you have, the happiness that you have, the joy, um, the feeling that they have when they walk into your place of being comfort, chill. That's something that they're probably lacking when they go back to their, um, mansion or whatever. Ice is built around their life, and they did it themselves. They did it to themselves. You can be a wealthy person and still live a simple life, and still live a humble life, and still live a good life, and still have a happy life. Judgment and arrogancy is not something that is going to produce a happy and joyful life. It's not. And humbleism, gratefulness, mercy, the list goes on is what does that. And anyways, this video is like 35 minutes long. This is ridiculous. I can't believe it's that long, and this is probably one of the longest videos I have on my channel, but I just wanted to talk about this, obviously not real quick, but I was gonna say real quick. My coffee is now cold. My mom gave this to me. I think they're from the dollar store. Peace out, you guys. Hope to speak to y'all again soon, and stay humble, stay grateful, and keep living your own life.